climate change, a problem that affects us all, a problem that needs more coverage and attention, a problem that is treated as a problem of the future, one that future generations will get rid of. But that isn't close to the truth, because we need to get rid of it now, because then the future generations might not get the chance to fix it. Now, when I was young, I learned about emissions, mostly in emissions per capita, and how these emissions affect the human body. But I didn't know how these emissions affected the humans. I only thought that they affected personally, and I only thought that the emissions were made by a country, not the biggest stalls that I thought they were. But let's talk about first how it affects us humans. With a historic rise of the temperature almost by 2 degrees Celsius, this isn't a problem that should be taken lightly. With each year that we do not do anything, the natural disasters get worse. We get worse typhoons. We get most devastating droughts. We get more devastating droughts. These are problems that need to be addressed, because poorer countries definitely have it worse. And that's the point. That's why many people don't see climate change as an issue. Because with their money and wealth, and most importantly location, they don't have much to worry about. But then let's talk about something that they should be concerned about and that they should be able to fix. How much their industry makes polluting. First, let's talk about a very big industry. Concrete. Concrete is a cheap material, a material that most burgeoning industries and countries use because it's cheap, reliable, and strong. But this material produces 8% of global emissions just for being produced. That's almost as much as all the emissions produced by livestock and agriculture combined. But that's not it. We have all of the landfills and water waste almost amount to 3% of global emissions. Now, if you think these are a lot, well, yeah, it is. But there's a bigger issue at hand. Just 20 companies in all the world produce 50% of all emissions produced by industry. Now, that's a lot. And to put it into perspective, the rest is about 6 billion tons of waste. Now, some might be thinking, so how do you fix this climate change? Well, the answer is, one as an individual really can't do much. If one individual were to just give up modern life and go and live primitive, effectively producing 0 emissions per day, that would mean that he would save 1 second of yearly global emissions. Just 1 second. Now, that means that in order for us to have a carbon neutral world with everything that we are doing today, we would need 1/3 of the global population to give up modern life. And that's impossible. Most people won't do that. So we need to really hold the people that produced these emissions accountable. Most importantly, I'm talking about one of the bigger companies, more like BP. BP produces 1.6% of all the industry emissions, but they also created the myth of the carbon footprint. In a 2008 ad campaign, they popularized this concept, and still they produce a massive amount of waste. So we need to hold all these giant companies accountable. They need to fix what they have done, and they really need to fix what they have done throughout the years without getting any punishment.